Okay, here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time in the form of a post-game commentary. You can also call this a replay analysis, but I'm in the top lane. Once again, playing as a Yordle. Once again, this time against Nasus. And if you saw the match history from the NAR game, you'd know I'm playing Teemo. Was not aware Nasus was a platinum player. Oops. So, Teemo. Nasus is pinging this out, and overall he makes the correct choice. And generally I would say this game isn't really worth uploading just because Teemo is a pretty hard counter to Nasus, and I really trolled this guy for a little while. The reason why in the end I am deciding to do this is because you get to see a game where you get screwed over royally by your jungler and you have to persevere. So right here I'm trying to sit in the brush to stealth, and then I get a little bit of attack speed when we get out. It's just the invade does not really go as we had hoped. And since I'm running Ignite instead of Teleport, I can't really afford to stay for long. So in the end this wasn't really warded, it's just Caitlyn. Yeah, Caitlyn was spotted, I think. Seeing as we're not getting anything, I decided, you know what, I'm getting this ward gold. So I took that, and then I take off. There's really nothing I can do to help them. I don't really have any hard CC or even a slow, so yeah. But anyway, Nasus started with a bottle. He's running Storm Raider Surge as his keystone. And I really hate this Elise. So anyway, Teemo is an extremely hard Nasus counter if you max the Q first, because you can deny him his passive and his Q stacks. If you do it correctly, you can really make him wish he could curl up into a hole and die. And I start to show how to do that. It's just, you'll see as the game progresses. So right here I wanted to duck in the brush so that I could get my green fathers going. And then right here I just have to zone him off a bit. So keep in mind I do not have my poison dart at the moment. I should explain how Teemo works in full though. So right here, when he tries to come into last hit, I just Q him. As a result, he can't get any Q stacks at the moment. He got 1 CS finally. Overall, my last hitting is pretty garbage here, and I'd say that's what largely cost me the S rank here. Overall, I'm not really too worried because I seriously thought this game was lost just due to how Elise screws this. But anyway, that's the last time I'll mention it until she actually does, because you might be getting tired of hearing that already. So right here, I don't really want a hard push, I'm just trying to freeze and deny. Last hitting for me is nowhere near as important as making sure he cannot last hit. I'm running Deathfire Touch in case you're wondering. I'm also running Magic Pen in my marks. So right here, I just want to harass him when I get the chance. If I can poke him down a little bit with Green Fathers, all the better, but still. Yeah, they're focusing fire right here, so it's near impossible to last hit these. So unfortunately, right here I take a tower shot. That's not too bad. But the thing is, the cannon is not getting shot. So right there I want to blind him so that he can't get these stacks from that. He can still last hit it by using his E, but the trade-off to that is he cannot last hit any. He can last hit one of those. That's it. So right here, I see Lee. I have no desire to leave the tower, really. And while I do have to give an assist by doing this, the important thing is I don't give Nasus the kill. So I get the kill, Nasus doesn't. He's going to teleport back in, I have to walk. And I go ahead and grab an Amp Tome and Boots, since I was at 750 gold, I think. Yeah, just about. So right here, this is not the part where Elise screws me, but just keep in mind that is Lee's first gank. While that was going on, Elise was covering mid, that's fine, Gragas is going to die a lot. Just spoilers. The problem is what she's going to do for the next 3 ganks. Don't worry, she is coming back. And overall, that was a pretty good move on Zarya's part. She got 2 kills at the cost of her life, and her life ended up going to Zyra because of the plants. Overall, I should pay attention because I've been trying to figure out if there's actually a way to play Zyra currently. So one of the problems I have right now is just I don't actually have a lot of mana regen. I am running 2 points in meditation, so I get some, it's just I'm not going to get as much as normal. And as a result of the meditation and needing mana, this game I am going to build a Lichbane. So here's Lee's second appearance. So they're pinging me, but they know if they go in, someone's dying. I'd like to try to last hit a little bit better here. It's just, I'm thinking, okay, Lee is up here. He made 2 appearances. Like, can we salvage the bot lane, maybe? I mean, it's... Zaya's immobile. Can we salvage the mid lane, maybe? Victor's immobile. Maybe she can counter jungle. I mean, it's not like she's sitting there taking the chickens and then the golems or anything. So while we wait for the next gank from Lee, let's go over how Teemo works. Your passive is... Okay, it's called Guerrilla Warfare? I thought it was some sort of camouflage thing. Actually, I think it was originally called Camouflage. If you stand still and don't do anything, you turn invisible. You can actually walk around inside a brush and still stealth. And the thing is, once you unstealth, you get a surge of attack speed for 3 seconds, so you can kind of gun things down if they're not expecting it. Q is Blinding Dart, targeted ability. It costs a pretty penny in terms of mana. You deal a nice chunk of damage to an enemy, it's like a magic nuke. Here comes the third gank. So right there he dropped a pink ward trying to find me. And I managed to get away without having to burn any summoners. I get to force him off since I did have 2 levels on him. Thing is, where is our great jungler? Not over here where the red buff is actually spawning. She's over here. So in all seriousness, once Lee showed up top, that should be her red. Hands down. He is on the complete wrong side of the map. He is down levels. There is no excuse for him to get this red. Other than she's really, really bad. So anyway, your W is... Oh yeah, the Q inflicts blind, so any auto attacks that are made while this is active will just whiff. And that includes the Nasus Q, by the way. W is move quick. Passive effect is when you are not damaged by enemy champions or towers within a certain time frame, you get passive movement speed. Active effect is you get twice the bonus, and you get to keep the bonus even if you get hit. So right here I do have Ignite. I'm trying to bait him in a bit. Didn't work, so I have to flash Ignite him. And down he goes. So I don't know why Nasus is pinging his R. I wasn't really paying attention to his mana to see if maybe he didn't have enough to cast it, or if he was just cocky. Thing is, he goes down. Your E is Toxic Shot. This is generally what I like to start with, but if I'm up against Nasus, the Q is just better. Your basic attacks will poison the target. It deals bonus damage up front when you actually auto-attack, and then it leaves a lingering poison that will damage the enemy over 4 seconds. Like, it's not really a lot, but you can definitely get a kill every now and then, like I just did off Nasus, getting his flash in the process. Your ult is Noxious Trap. You basically drop a mushroom. Everything that is within a certain circle of that mushroom, when it gets stepped on by either champion, minion, neutral monster, what have you, it gets poisoned and slowed. And that poison is extremely nasty, and it will be even worse once I get the Leandri's Torment. Traps themselves last 5 minutes, half of what they used to, takes a second to arm. You can bounce them off other traps, but that's not as important. And then you get a charge every 30 seconds. You can carry 3 at a time. That's pretty much the gist of Teemo. So as for build, I'm rushing a Hextech Gunblade so I can try to sustain with him, and then I can actually, like, answer his all-ins. Dropping that there, because take a look who's rounding their blue buff. So, gank number 4. Let's check it on Elise. Like, Victor's not here, so I can't really fault that, but I don't even know why this buff is still up right now. And the good news is, it's finally reached the point where she simply cannot ignore him any longer. So at this point, you notice I'm not even moving. I literally have no faith in Elise, and it's not going to get better as the game progresses. I actually have to call her out on this, and then she finally starts to do stuff, but to put things more into context for you, so beyond the whole complete absence of pressure on her part, she has 31 CS. He has 26. He has made 4 appearances top so far. He's actually gotten a kill, and there's just, like, it's a black hole with how little she's done. And the absolute worst part in all of this is Elise is an early game jungler. She has her ult at level 1. When she hits level 3, she has access to 6 spells while everyone else has 3. So I have no clue why this player is so awful at Elise. In all seriousness, if you cannot make an impact any earlier than this with Elise, you... well, for sure Elise is off the cards for you. You cannot play Elise, period. But odds are you're probably a pretty bad jungler, period. So anyway, right there I'm trying to poke him down a bit. I have a little bit of extra burst from the Hextech Revolver, but this is only every 40 seconds, and 85 damage to a Nasus is really nothing. Not unless it's like 85 per second, instead of 85 over 40. So right here, he goes down, and that's the last time I can solo kill him. So while it looks like he's actually on the receiving end of a pretty solid beating, you have to keep in mind he's actually ahead in CS, and that is solely because of Lee. If not for Lee, I actually would be crushing this much, much, much worse. But we're effectively down a player at this stage of the game. The good news is she finally did make an impact. It took her like 10 minutes to do it, but she's finally on the board. Problem is, it has cost me the top lane at this point. And the funniest part was when I was actually playing this live is she asked, "How are you losing to Nasus?" And the idiot couldn't understand, I'm losing because you're an idiot. So anyway, right here I have the Bilgewater Cutlass now, so I have a slow. The problem is he is running Storm Raiders, so when he goes in like this, I can't get away from him really. I did get the flash, but overall if he'd stuck to me, I think he probably would have gotten me. And the thing is, despite her being crap, I actually did compliment her off that. Hey, you finally remembered top lane is a thing. And the thing, I didn't actually look into this, but if she's actually running Bounty Hunter for this, that would be 4 stacks for her. She just killed the bot lane, she killed the, I think it was the jungler. Yeah, it was the jungler she towered of. And then she just killed Nasus. She has 4 kills all of a sudden, and she's going to do nothing with them. Seriously. So right here, Nasus is porting in, about a minute on my Ignite. He has a Kindle Gem to go with his Spectre's Cowl, he also has an additional Crystal. And right there I'm trying to deny him the cannon, but tower's just falling off in terms of damage. So Elise goes down, giving up her bounty. And to give you some numbers, let's go over to Nasus. He has 100-something stacks, and like I was saying, I'm done. I can't find him anymore. Even though I'm poking him down here, he can just go... well, he can even do this. One more Q, and that's that. So even though he's tanking minions, he actually has enough lifesteal from his passive to where that doesn't matter. So right now I finally have the Gunblade. This gives me a little bit more burst damage. Also gives a slow so I can get a few more extra spells off, but if you're building the Gunblade, you're usually not building for the slow. So Kate goes ahead and gets us the dragon. Earth Dragon's going to allow us to siege a little bit better, and that's going to give us an avenue back into the game once we can start answering Nasus again. So in terms of what I'm building, next I need to get a Liandry's Torment so I can actually cut through his hit points. It's also going to be pretty helpful for Lee, just because if he tries to come in, I can just shred a percentage of his health. Usually that's pretty good at deterring junglers. So right there, she kills Xayah. After a certain point, Xayah is just going to like completely fall off, and then she'll make a resurgence late game. So Nasus now has this completed Spirit Visage, which is kind of interesting to me. Adaptive Helm would give him a little bit more protection from my dots, but the Spirit Visage actually helps more with his passive. I'm not entirely sure what would be the superior choice for him. It's just in his situation, I probably would have given the Adaptive Helm another look. So right here I have Ignite up, I have my Gunblade, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can actually fight him here. So I get quite a bit of sustain. You can see Elise is here, but she's not actually going to do anything. So what's worse is if you look by the blue buff, so here I am trying to help. There's literally nothing I can do for her. And this time I'm not going to entirely fault her because, I mean, Gragas and Kate are here while... Oops. Well, these guys are down here. So I do have a bit of an interesting team. And what's worse is with the double buffs, there's literally nothing I can do. Because right here is going to slow me, and it's pretty much a perma-slow. Right here I'm out of mana, so I can't actually finish him. I basically need one more blind to do the trick. So I cannot emphasize enough, just remember, Nasus would not have nearly as much CS or stacks as he does right now if Elise had done something to draw Lee anywhere else. As for boots, I went ahead and grabbed Lucids here because I don't think Sorks really matter. Lucids are going to help me set up Shroom Fields a little bit more. And the name of the game here is going to be Team Fights, so if I can create like a mobile minefield, there's going to be some avenue for us to do stuff. And you'll see what I mean by mobile minefield as we go, because I put out some doozies, don't worry. So right here, Nasus now has Merc Treads, he has the Phage. He has odds and ends of the next Trinity Force component, but it's not really anything that big. Meanwhile here... Yep. Winions. So when he started porting in, I put a Shroom on the ward. And at this point you can see I really can't even hurt him anymore. Just kind of hoping I could poke him down with my blinding darts, but he's just sustaining too damn much. So going back to this, the CS numbers haven't really changed. She got all that stuff and has literally nothing to show for it. And the part that really pisses me off, she's actually crying in chat, "How'd you lose to Nasus?" Kinda hope she at least reviews the replay so she can learn a thing or two. And I'm really hoping that's an auto-filled Elise. Thing is, I have some doubts because if you notice, they did trade here. It's just, I'm wondering, well, hell, we probably would have been better off these two actually played their innate roles. The Gragas, you can see he's doing really, really bad. Victor is 8-0 to his 1-4. Kate kills Xayah, so we're at the part where Xayah's going to stop getting stuff done. Right there you can see Elise suicide to Nasus. And at this part, there's nothing I can do for the time being, so I'm just staying out of the lane entirely. It's very disappointing, but it's not something I had any control over. So going to gold numbers, you can see that Nasus has a commanding lead over me due to all the kills. Part of it is also the towers. I mean, they have 4 over us. It's just, we're kind of on our heels at the moment. So right there... Okay, I was actually saving for the Haunting guys, because I could have bought the Blasting Wand. Actually, I should have been able to afford the guys. I don't know. But in the meantime, I can just go ahead and clear this with my shrooms, pick up some gold here and there. As long as the Xayah wants to push, I can try to offset that. So if you look, my gold is actually comparable to Zyra's. But Zyra does have a disproportionate amount of kills, so there's that too. Right here I was hoping Lee would go in on her. And at this point I really don't care if he goes in on me because I do have the Gunblade, I can spike him down. But anyway, for this one, so we do kind of have an edge over them. We have an AP Gragas. It's just, with these two here, I don't know why they were seriously walking this way. Yes, the Herald is here, but one person can take care of that. These guys kind of baited me in there, I'm afraid. And to make things worse, they're not even trying to contest the dragon afterwards, even though we did get the Victor ult in that, we have the Rakan ult. Xayah doesn't have anything. They're literally handing things over on a silver platter, starting with feeding Nasus.
Seriously?
So right here she failed with her traps. Generally you want to put those down right here at the top of the stairs. That way if they step on one, they're still in tower range and everything. Anyway, here I am. Still on the fence on whether or not we should even bother trying to play this one. And right here I was kind of hoping to get a flank down. So she did hit Rakan with that, I believe. So right here Nasus goes in. So down goes Elise. I blind him so he can't do anything to Zyra. Use the Gunblade to kite him, and he dies to my poison. In case you were wondering, I'm actually running double-edged sword here. I wanted to kill him early. Now, unfortunately here, Xayah is going to kill the tower, and then I go ahead and poison her. So right there, we're pinging that her flash is down. I was wondering if she'd do the same for me, but apparently not. Xayah pretty much is the one who gives us a door back into the game. If she at least played a little bit more conservatively, realized, hey, I don't have to carry and stuff like that, just sit along for the ride, there would be no way for us back in this one. We'd seriously reach the point where it's a late game Nasus, and we'd be done. So I'm sitting on 1,300 gold. That should be enough to finish Lilandry's Torment. So remember when Elise was 4-0?
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yep. So right here I still can't fight Nasus, especially not when my Ignite is down. So right here I just want to push this out a little bit, get some extra gold here and there. Even if he's going to get all of this, I really have no way to stop him. I can try to annoy him a little bit as he does, but there's just no answer I have at the moment.
Shut down.
So Victor goes down. Down goes Elise. And then I kill Lee. I slow Rakan. Kate gets the kill. I get the assist, but I'm cool with that. I have the blue buff right now, so we'll blind Nasus so that he can't kill Kate. And then we just kite him. And that's pretty much our answer to him for the time being. Whenever a fight starts, I have to blind him, and then we just lay into him. What's especially bad is he's going to not really build a MR beyond the Spirit Visage. So once I have the Void Staff, I can seriously hurt him. So right here I'm going to leave a few presents here and there. I don't want to walk over the Speed Shrine. I didn't know this was as warded as much as it is. I mean, there's 4 right there, but they're thorough, what can I say? So I actually have put a little bit of space between me and Zyra in terms of gold. Overall, I've caught up to Nasus pretty much, but that's more of a tower thing. If you notice, they have 7 of ours down compared to us having 3 of theirs. So, like, I'll have the lead once we get theirs. It's just, I'm not entirely sure why he kind of fell off. But anyway, with the 2,000 gold I have right now, I can go back, and I want to build a Lichbane. So if you're wondering why Lichbane, movement speed, CDR, also gives mana so I get more mana back through meditation, and that's just nuke effect. I mean, I can use the Lichbane, use the Gunblade, and try to just burst someone down instantly. So right there I was praying he was going to go in on me. Ironically, it was Rakan who did, and we did get his ult right there, if you can see. So right there I poison and slow him so that Gragas can kill him. And right here I'm getting a little bit of vindication for everything that he did early game. Gonna make him bleed slowly for it. So Nasus died over by our inhibitor. And right here I kind of want the Cloud Dragon because I'm thinking I don't have teleport, so being able to get across the map is going to be especially helpful. Not sure if I pointed out, but our team is running triple Ignite. You really don't see that anymore, but that was a thing back in like Season 2, Season 3. Granted, you usually have like Leona as your support, but I guess Zyra can do it too. So right there, I'm trying to figure out what can I sell to get enough gold. I need 2,400. I have to sell the Duran Ring. Then I can go ahead and buy the Lichbane. So lots of movement speed right now. I have the move quick, which is my W. I have the Cloud Dragon, and I now have the Lich Bane. So in terms of movement speed, you can see I'm cruising around the map at 480. And then I can activate the W to actually boost that to 516 right there. And it will get higher as I put more and more points into my W. So in the meantime, I don't really want to fight Nasus while my team is trying to recall. Elise is heading up here, but like, I don't think the two of us can beat him. So it looks like Nasus wanted to do Dragon. I mean Baron. Kind of interesting. So dropping a shroom over there. That way if they try to death brush us, they get a little surprise. Gragas fails his flash E, but I can go ahead and just take off half of Rakan's health like that. Victor takes the shot for him. And just another surprise. So at this stage of the game, I'm sitting on 20% CDR between the Lucid Boots and the Lich Bane. As a result, I'm getting a mushroom every 16 seconds. So basically 2 per wave. And then right here I want to try to take part in the fight. I can tell this is going to be bad. So down goes Elise. Train Elise for Xayah is, well, they're both kind of lame. It's just right there I assassinated Victor. Happened real fast, so you may not have seen it, but by taking him out, that pretty much ends their push. Not only that, with him dead, we actually have an opportunity to try to counter siege. So right there, we get to see them on the trinket. And I was kind of hoping to catch someone on the way in. Someone like you. So right here I do burn Flash to kill him.
Unstoppable.
And now right here, I don't know why Caitlyn went mid. We had 4 of us here to their 2. There's an inner tower, which is basically easy gold at this point. But it's just, like, questionable stuff. That's like... that would be the name of the game. So yes, if Caitlyn had come when I first moved over there, we could have done that without me having to waste my summoners. I'd probably end up still having to use Ignite, but I'd still have Flash. So right here, if you want to see its health, with Liandry's Torment, I can definitely do a bit of a number. Not sure how Gragas died, but yeah. So right here I'm trying to see what my movement speed is since I'm now level 18. We have to wait for the home guards to wear off and I'm at 496. Anyway, in terms of build, the Blasting Wand is going to become a Void Staff just so I can pierce their defenses. Overall, they're not really going heavy in the MR department because I guess they don't consider Gragas a threat and they probably pretend they're not going to run over a Teemo shroom at any stage of the game, so... it's pretty much free for me to just burn them down that way. So I'm trying to drop shrooms outside of their line of sight. This one being an exception where it's a zoning shroom. And that way they don't get to see where we're moving, and I can try to ambush them a bit. So right here to siege, we're going to need minions from that little red marker that tells you someone stepped on a shroom somewhere. And one shroom does that much damage. So right here, Elise and I ping that this is coming up. We can probably try to force something. I drop this just in case I want to be funny and try to blast going over the wall. So right here I thought, hey, let's go collapse on Nasus. And then we do this little wishy-washy thing where we're not quite sure where we're going, what we're doing, and as a result, that's a free inhibitor for Nasus. So he's just going to backdoor. So if we're giving up an inhibitor, we need to make it worth it. So right here I want to stall his recall. I can slow him and everything. And with the dragon's true damage, this is not something he can just shrug off. So Elise ends up taking a kill, but it was pretty much the Leandries that whittled him down. Overall, I really don't mind because I'm running double-edged sword here instead of bounty hunter, so yeah. And then right here I wanted to clear this because I knew if I didn't, Nasus is going to teleport top, and then he's just going to take the tower. So I need to make sure that he has nothing to teleport to. Now, unfortunately, with another wave coming and my team being gung-ho, I figure, okay, gotta spend the gold. It's not as far out as I'd like, but it's still something. So right there I now have the Blasting Wand, and my next item is going to be Death Cap. So to give you some numbers for where I'm at, Q is, we'll say 550 damage. Your E at this stage does 150 bonus up front, and then a lingering burn of 60 per second. As for the Noxious Trap, it's sustained for 650 over 4 seconds. And that's not counting what the Leandry's burn is going to do, since that scales off of the recipient rather than me.
Godlike.
So yeah, not really much I can do here. Even with all the shrooms, since Leandry's can't kill, it's more like a harassment tool than anything. Now the good news is Elise did manage to get this before she bites the dust. So right there I pinged the flash, and this is kind of what I was talking about. If I had let this push over here, we'd probably lose this tower and inhibitor. Since I took the actions to slowly push that out, that I wanted to see. Where is she? So I'm actually going to rewind this a bit. So Elise is taking the inhibitor right now. She's healing to full. She kills Elise. Gragas bursts her for quite a bit of damage, and then she runs into my shroom. Poor Gragas. So yeah, I was wondering what happened to her, and now I know. Gragas did most of the work, and then the shroom did the last bit. Like, I wonder if he was a little upset. I mean, it's not like we had control over either of that, since that was a trap placed well in advance, and she walked into it. She didn't necessarily run away from him, she just ran in some other direction, and lo and behold, I did happen to have a shroom waiting. So anyway, right here I knew Nasus was going to be sitting around this area, waiting to ambush her. Just kind of hoping he'd come forward a bit, but I guess he figured I was coming or something, so he backs out. Because if you notice, there's no wards here to tell him that we're coming. It's just like an intuition thing, if anything. And since I don't livestream, it's not like I can accuse him of ghosting or anything. It was just like a pretty fortunate coincidence on his part. So I'm not sure who's trying to surrender on the enemy team. And Nasus is sitting on 543 stacks. He actually has the Knight's Vow from Rakan because they've given up on Xayah for the most part. Anyway, someone just stepped on a shroom. So I need to go out here and replace that. Trying to tell them, hey, we don't really have much to gain here. We shouldn't really be here. And they slowly get the picture. So the good news is our feeder beat theirs. Not entirely sure what happened, don't really want to rewind to find out. Right here I just wanted to make Nasus miserable as he runs by. I was hoping Victor would come close for me to kill, but instead I'll settle for that. So yeah, that was about 20% of his health gone. That has to hurt. So the enemy Rakan is pretty much telegraphing what he's going to do, in case you're wondering how I keep getting away from his knockups. It's just a little obvious since, like, if he goes forward, he's going forward for a reason. Let's see, Q at this stage. It's dealing almost... Yeah, I'm not reading this wrong. It's almost 600 damage. So right there I have a getaway shroom. That one I kind of messed up. I need to put it over more because they're going to run right past it. Heartbreaking, I know. So anyway, I dropped a shroom here, dropped one here. Right here I just want to keep Nasus out of the fight. And that Q took off half of what she had left. It's gonna be worse once I have the death cap. So generally on Teemo I really like to get the Nashor's Tooth. It's just because of Nasus' Wither, I don't really recommend it. Like, I don't even recommend getting an attack speed item in general. If you need any attack speed, you have to use your passive. So right there, that's another kind of getaway shroom. And with that, we need to get out of here. So right there is the death cap. Gives me 600 AP about. This does 750 magic damage. This up front is about 250. And of course the shrooms are about 750. You do not want to step on a shroom. So at this point I'm essentially full build. The thing is, the game is ending before I can go get Elixir, so... it is what it is, I'm afraid. So I think it was Xayah who stepped on the shroom because she just lost half her health. She can get it back real fast thanks to her Bloodthirster, but still. Right there, I don't know if that was intentional for Kate to take it. She critted the thing, if you didn't see. I don't know if it was a crit plus static shiv, but yeah, just nuke the thing down. So I was willing to tank some of this here because I am healing through the Gunblade. But Elise is able to do that and we just burn it down fairly quickly. So Zyra just bought Warmogs. Right there, I'm doing that in case they port out to try to flank us from behind. That way they have to use the gates just like the rest of us. Not only that, but because the Shroom will slow them, that'll give us a little bit of time to react. We can try to turn around and kill them before the team collapses. Or we can initiate on them before they have their 5th man. We have a couple different options. It's just this is what I meant earlier when I said mobile minefield. Get those out in key places, create bottlenecks, and then just kill the enemy. So unfortunately Lee right there killed me with his ult. I didn't get an assist off of him, go figure. Didn't get anything off Nasus, but that's the end of the game. So overall this ended up being an A+, I believe. 11-7-12, and should have been a lot better just because of how the early game goes, but Elise squandered my early game. So A+ ranking, and then if you want to see the runes and masteries, this is the one I was running. Basically, as many magic pen res as I could have at the time. I don't have a full set, unfortunately. AP Quint, Skilling Number Yellow, Skilling Number Blues. And real quick on the topic, with the change to the runes coming, people like me are getting royally screwed. So that seems to be the theme of this video, I'm afraid, but to give you an example, looking at my quints, I have 2 Spellvamp quints right here. These are worth 2,000 IP each. I'm getting 600 for both of them back. The Lifesteal, these are worth 4,000 also, gain 600 back. Movement Speed, these are worth a total of 6,000, I'm getting 900 back. For the rune pages, I don't even get a 1-to-1 value, and these things are actually worth as much as a character. Like, I wouldn't be as pissed if Riot at least gave me... So let's see, I bought 2, 4, 6, 8 of these. If they just gave me 8 random characters, that would be fine. Okay, I can take that. But no, they're just royally screwing over everyone who tried to put these together, and they don't actually... Especially for the ones who don't own all the characters yet. Like, this is one of those things that seriously does make me want to quit playing, because I spent years accumulating this, and Riot has just changed their emblem from the fist to a hand giving me the finger. As for the Teemo page, this is what I was running. I didn't know I had Feast. I thought I was running Fresh Blood. This was a bit of a mistake. I should have been running this one. I went for Sorcery for ability damage, this for more AP, Double-Edged Sword because I wanted to press the early game, and then these are hopefully self-explanatory. This to help with last hitting, even though I still sucked at doing it. Assassin for assassination potential. Merciless, this allows me to try to kill them when they get low, and then a little bit of meditation because I don't have mana regen anyway. And Green Fathers is just really good on Teemo because you can stealth and brush. Once they burn something valuable, you can just turn and unload on them, and if you don't kill them, you'll at least scare the hell out of them so they won't think about doing it twice. In terms of quests, I don't know if I have the current ones done. That's all I'm getting at. In terms of loot, in case you're wondering, I have enough to make 2 keys. I have an honor capsule right there. If you haven't seen one, it's this thing. And then I also have some tokens, which I'm probably going to use to buy world orbs. Like, I don't see myself buying the Ash, Chroma, and the Ward. I'd have to actually spend RP on quests, and the quests just suck. These are the worst ones to date. For the Championship Ash and Border, I'm not buying the skin, so this isn't going to help as much. This one, I just generally don't care for the Legacy skins. So that pretty much only leaves this for me. Which is one of the reasons why I don't really get excited for these events. So it's going to be a while before we see anything from there. But that's kind of it right now. That's where we stand. I can try to look to get some boxes next week. I have 2 that I can unlock. I could have gotten one from Teemo if Elise wasn't such a screw-up. But with just how few key fragments I'm getting, I don't really see a point in trying to do this. Like, if I were to actually get all of them, I'd have all the boxes that are currently available. I'd have pretty much 30 boxes that I can't open. In case you're wondering, I get another box tomorrow. For me, from where you guys are. When you guys see this, I'll already have it available for grabbing. So, yeah, that's everything, and hopefully you get to see my disappointment with how things are progressing. I'm a little optimistic about the Eve rework, though, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.